So we'll turn towards the other panelists of this forum, Senior Advisor, International Economic Development Partnerships and Stakeholder Engagement, Safe Seaweed Coalition. She will address us through video link. Ms. Dyer, the floor is yours.
Thank you very kindly, Madam Chair. And let me just begin the presentation. And could you just please confirm that you can see that? I am going to assume that that is a yes. So I'm going to speak about seaweed economics today and focusing first of all on production and market trends. I'll go quickly through this because some has already been mentioned. Want to highlight that today's seaweed industry is characterized by strong growth, large regional differences, and high species concentration. Seaweed cultivation has grown 1,000-fold since 1950, and the industry almost doubled in value since 2003 to 2019, from $6 billion to $11 billion. Production is overwhelmingly done in Asia, and it's overwhelmingly done by cultivation, 97% for both. Wild collection does still dominate in the Americas and Europe. And brown and red seaweeds are the ones that did hit their peak in 1992. And in terms of species concentration, of about 12,000 seaweeds that we know of today, world seaweed production is concentrated in an authoritative source, has recorded just 27 seaweed species items cultivated. Since Babush showed us, showing that this is really a growth industry. And let me move to the next. Here in imports, and in fact, Asia dominates exports. The Asian countries dominate exports, and it's distributed more evenly between Asia and Europe and the Americas on the import side. And the uses, the slide by Ms. Gonzalez just now was wonderful to show the many multifaceted potential end uses of seaweed. They seem to be limited really only by our imaginations. Looking at new markets in Europe, the Americas and Oceania startups are on a really sharp rise from a peak of 5 in 2010 to now 40 in 2021. And let's move to assessing the potential now for seaweed farming. What do countries need to know? Well, there are both technical and policy/regulatory dimensions. So on the technical side, as we've already heard, geography matters. Different seaweeds grow in different waters. Broadly speaking, red seaweeds are likelier to grow in tropical waters, brown in colder waters. Also, will the cultivation be by smallholders? Will it be near shore? Or will it be industrial? Will it be in open seas? Might it use technology that's more akin to that of oil rigs? Even close to shore, it's important to assess whether seaweed farmers have the requisite skills. That includes, do they know how to swim? Do they know how to dive? And on the policy and regulatory front, there's a lot going on in seaweed. It's important to ensure that there is a propitious regulatory environment. Ideally, that would be harmonized in country at all levels, from local through national, and in line with globally harmonized regulations. Those, though, are still very much a work in progress. Countries are encouraged to assess their own domestic capacity. The existing experience in the public policy sectors varies widely depending on where or even whether seaweed cultivation and processing are tracked, because seaweed doesn't neatly fall into organizational pigeonholes, and governments may therefore not directly monitor it. It could be covered by any one or more of a number of ministries, including fisheries, aquaculture, trade, commerce, agriculture, etc. And beyond the government stakeholders, countries are encouraged to look at their domestic private sectors, including, very importantly, as we've already seen, smallholder producers and processors. And then to complement that domestic expertise and resources, look for other support through partnerships on research, on technical know-how, finance, whether it's for public or private investment. And here, the Safe Seaweed Coalition, the group that I am speaking on behalf of today, the Safe Seaweed Coalition provides access to the science and is creating a platform for sustainability-minded investors, helping to create a global framework for knowledge and technology transfers. How to identify trade opportunities. Countries are encouraged to take a comprehensive approach to this. Implement marine spatial planning. Once again, create that enabling regulatory environment for investment. To invest in research and complementary infrastructure. And I'd like to add a word of caution to the one that's already been emitted about the excitement over seaweed's potential to sequester carbon. There have been some corresponding counter perspectives. The carbon and macroalgae debate is not yet over. What may appear to be tempting investments may not yet be grounded in the science. So we would really encourage caution on this. And we really look forward to hearing more from Professor Duarte, who has been doing work on the assessment of blue carbon methodologies that account for carbon sequestration services of seaweed forests and seaweed farming. Now, the United Nations Global Compact, which is one of the partners of the Safe Seaweed Coalition, one of the founding partners, it published a seaweed vision statement in 2021. Here are some of its key recommendations, the ones that are focusing on creating an enabling environment for the seaweed sector. Some are at country level and some are global, and all of these need member country buy-in and support. In addition, countries are encouraged to designate specific responsibility for oversight and support, and for measuring seaweed production and trade explicitly in their systems of national accounts to help improve data quality and to inform sounder policy decisions. So we've already heard something about the entry factors, barriers to entry. There's fragmentation. Supply costs are still high in the global north, especially because of scale and because of distance to end markets. It isn't just about barriers, though. There are opportunities too. Combining production with processing provides opportunities to create inclusive value chains. Seaweed can help coastal countries build their resilience, including by supporting livelihood transition, notably for commercial fishers facing occupational insecurity as their fish stocks are depleted. And it's an important economic opportunity for women. We heard this already, but we'd like to emphasize this. The gender balance among seaweed farmers in Asia is about even. In Africa, though, women are in the majority. And overall, women are playing an important leadership role in the industry's development, particularly in developing countries. So in conclusion, seaweed offers many sustainability solutions, some surely yet to be discovered. It's increasingly seen as a blue food. We see that it's time for seaweed to play its full role in the implementation of the global ocean agenda. So amongst the many recommendations that we would make about seaweed, we're focusing here on what we would encourage member countries to do next, and that is incorporate seaweed into their national development planning and into their climate responses. And we're seeking countries' strong and active support for harmonization of global standards. Please do visit our website, and please do see the vision statement as well as the document that started off the seaweed revolution, the manifesto. The links are here, and I'll put those links in the chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dyer. Thank you for those very concrete recommendations.